I don't know if I mentioned in the last video that today is the 20th, so it's January 20th, day 20, and I know you're all very curious as to what happened to breakfast between me and my wife, and how can breakfast come between two people? Alright, I'll just put it this way. So, what happened is this. My wife gets up and she gets the kid off to school. He gets on the bus, and then I come down a little while later and I ask her, I'm going to make breakfast. Do you want some breakfast? And she says, no, I'm good. I said, okay. And, just to be polite, you ask again, are you sure? I'm already making breakfast. I can just, throw some more eggs in the pan and share with you. And she says, no, I already had some cereal. I'm good. And you go, okay, fine. Conversation over. She goes upstairs. You're like, I'll be up when I'm done. So I make my 3 eggs, my 2 pieces of toast, and a little piece of pork that was left over from last night's dinner. And I get upstairs, and before I even eat, I do what I normally do, and I count my calories. I enter it all into my tablet, and then I start to eat. And that's when the wife gets interested in the food. That's when she starts looking at the food, looks at me, looks at the food, and you think, you can have a bite, it's no big deal. So she takes a bite of the toast and then a piece of egg, and it's like no big deal. And then she keeps looking at it again. And you're like, okay. And then she asks, can I have a piece of bread and an egg? This is where I decide to tell her, like, didn't I already ask you if you wanted me to make you something? And I know you saw me enter this, and you're trying not, you're really not trying to be an ass. You're like, okay, look, I know you saw me count all these calories, so one of 2 things has to happen now. I give you the food, and I have to go downstairs and remake the toast and the egg, or I have to go back into my tablet and start rearranging everything again for my breakfast and figuring out my calories and all that crap. And I'm not against her having it. I'm just pointing out the fact that I asked her. That's all. It's just an egg and a piece of bread. You're not trying to start World War III here. But that's the moment she abruptly decides that I am the world's biggest asshole. That's when I have become public enemy number 1. And of course I, in protest of her anger, because this is where she starts answering in single syllable, 1 word answers. Where earlier in the morning, where I'm asking her, do you want me to make you eggs? And she says, no, I'm good. It becomes, do you want the food? No. I can go downstairs and make you eggs if you want. No. No. That's all I get from her now. And then, of course, I'm a guy, so I don't completely understand that whether she's mad or not. I don't know if she's fully mad yet or not. So I have to test the waters. And this is how I test the waters. I create a completely off-topic conversation and see if she will join in. And if she ignores me, then she's pissed. If she just kind of goes, she's kind of mad. If she just gives you that, she's kind of mad at you but doesn't really want to talk. All right, so and if she answers you, she's not mad at all. Okay, this is how you figure it out. Again, I've been married for 11 years. This is about 5 years worth of research to figure this stuff out. So, this is gold. Get a pen, guys. Get out your pencil and take notes. So, of course, she doesn't answer at all. And this is where I know that she is full-on mad. She is pissed. She won't say a word to my half-assed conversation. Like, something on TV like, oh, that guy can't fly through a window like that. Or there's no way he's going to get to the train station on time. You know what I mean? She doesn't say a word. So I know that she is freaking pissed. So, in protest of her anger, I abruptly stand up, walk out the room, and leave the food behind. And I tell her, if you want it, eat it. Okay, and this is where she knows, that way she knows that I'm mad. So now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the game begins. It is game on. It has started. And here's the problem. Guys, you think the ball is in your court because you have right on your side. In your mind, you're being logical And you're thinking, I asked her if she wanted food and she said no. When I get up there, the problem is you're being too logical. And you think the ball's in your court, but boy, you couldn't be more wrong. She completely has the ball and is on the other side of the court preparing for your attack. This is what's happening. This is what happens every time. The guy goes downstairs and he starts planning his attack. He says, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to start bombing her with logic. Look, I asked you if you wanted me to make you breakfast, and you're going to think, okay, this is what she's going to say, and then this is what I'm going to say, and then this is what she's going to say, and you have it all planned out in your mind. But this is what really happens, guys. This is what happens. You plan it all out. You go upstairs, you start bombing her with logic, and then she is way out in left field. She comes back at you with something that you couldn't even possibly have thought of. Much less, even if she gave you 5 minutes to think of a rebuttal, you would still be screwed. Like, she is so far out in crazy land with this rebuttal that you had no clue was coming, that you stand there like a moron. She wins the argument, and then you end up going downstairs going, what the hell happened? She was, she had you. She got you, all right? So this is what you got to do. You don't go up there and start throwing out logic, because she'll come back at you with crazy that you just can't handle. And it's not that she's crazy. See, the thing is that while you were down there planning out your logical attack, she was thinking up the most crazy thing, like the most crazy possible thing you can ever hear, just to throw off your attack, just so you're bombing in the wrong place. And I've learned after, like I said, 11 years of marriage, that the attacks don't work. You can't argue with crazy. And like I said, it's not that she's crazy. It's just that she uses crazy to win the argument. Man, so let me tell you guys, this is your strategy, guys. This is what you do. You go up there, you don't say a word to her, you take the plate, you dump the food in the trash, all right, without saying a word. Because now I expected her to not eat the food now. Now she, in protest of my anger, won't eat the food. She won't touch it. That's her way of saying, I'm mad at you, and what would have really thrown me off, what really would have thrown me for a loop, is had I gone up and the food, she had eaten it all, it was gone, I would have stood there dumbfounded. But I found exactly what I knew I would find, and that was all the food was still sitting in place. So I take the plate and I dump all the food in the trash, because secretly I already went down, remade the meal, and ate. And I didn't say a word to her. I just take the plate and I walk off. Now, she was expecting an argument. I know she was. She was expecting me to throw logic out, and she had her crazy argument already lined up. And this is how you throw her off. You don't say a word. And I went for a walk, and here I am. Now I'm making a video. The game is afoot, and the game's not even over yet. As I make this video has now become part of the game. Do I post it, or do I not? If I post it, she might get mad that I'm telling everyone what happened. I want to hear from you guys. Was I in the wrong? Was she in the wrong? I mean, she had said no twice, but, feeding her, would that have been such a big deal? But the big deal is that she knows that I would have to go back downstairs, remake the food, or cut the calories out of my counting and then be short for breakfast anyway. And then, and being short is what makes you hungry, too close to lunch, where now if you eat a little bit, I guess I could just eat a little bit. It's not even a big deal. The question is, who do you think is right or wrong in this game? I'm just looking at it as a game. I know that me and my wife will just laugh about this in a week or two, no matter how pissed off she gets about this video anyway. You don't throw away 11 years of marriage over an egg, and a piece of toast. You play a game with it. This is what we do. We're not even really mad at each other. We're just playing a game. And I'll tell you, men, if you're listening to this, Women will throw out an argument that not even Sherlock Holmes could figure out. So don't even try to argue. Just go for a walk. It really is the best thing you can do for your marriage. If you come back to argue, you will lose. You won't even know why you lost, but you've lost. You've lost the second you decided to engage the enemy and feed the monster. So just count your calories and go for a walk. Count your walk, because this walk does, add on calories to what I get to eat. So play the game smart and count your calories. Have fun.